11 cycles have passed. The 10th will never be. A great machine has cut the gods from the skies. Now the energy of chaos is removed from the world of Lacrin. Magic has ceased to exist. A changed world, a final cycle. There is one final journey to embark upon, a decisive duty filled, a mortal god, a few heroes, a last quest.
Somewhere deep underground, in an unknown location, presumably in Bellona, Mr. Bobo and Mr. Callugi Salatio sort of walking around this circular-ish corridor. There's a spill of light somewhat coming from one end of it outside of the door that you came from. Door which has the number 10 written on it. Door into a room of a sort of comfortable jail cell that you've been in for a couple of weeks, even though you're not too sure on the time frame yourself because you've not had any reference outside of meals and visits and Callugi's ramblings. You guys came out you broke out of this room only to find yourself in a kind of corridor that just circles and circles. There is no other door that seems to lead out that's present here. You guys were looking for kind of a way out. You were pressing paving slabs and you were pushing bricks on the walls and stuff, pretty much to no avail. Confused. Very confused as to how this is possible. Could you roll me a dice? And I'm going to roll a dice for young Callugi.
Alright, here goes nothing. 11.
11. And a 19 from Callugi. You guys do this for a long time. Walking around in circles, every now and then comparing notes of very little, only to find that nothing's happening. Eventually, you feel like you've pushed every brick here. It's been hours of doing this. Pushing and hitting the walls, feeling some of the grooves. Every now and then you'll find like an area of the wall that seems kind of strange. There are certainly parts of this wall that feel unconventional, but it seems more like age to you as you're looking around. It feels like you're in a very old place. The bricks and the walls are eroded in a way that suggests time more than anything else. There's no breeze or anything. The furnishings of the room you're in were pretty modern, but not anything outside of that. Callugi eventually comes around to the front of the doorway, looks in at the room that you've come from, turns to you and says, "Well, I've got nothing. I'm completely confused. I've pressed every rock, I've pushed in every paving slab, and I've touched every single brick here. Maybe twice, I think, maybe."
This is starting to look very grim for us. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've touched every stone, every tablet I've come across myself. There's just no light. I'm not seeing any light coming in other than, well, from the room.
You've done it.
I've done what?
He points to the sconce with the torch in it. Light. What if we take the torch around?
Well, I suppose. I reluctantly grabbed the torch.
See if it moves. Like, if there's a breeze coming from outside, it'll blow the torch, right?
Oh, you're right.
With that, I take the torch and I see if the wind blows, perhaps giving us a direction.
Yeah, roll me another dice. The two of you start walking around this corridor. Holding the light up in front of you or watching the light, you're kind of looking to see if it changes direction in any way. You walk like from your doorway all the way around to the other side. No change in the torch, and you keep walking before Callugi shouts after you. Where are you going?
Well, I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm just...
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Look at that.
Wait.
Points at the wall. Lift the torch up.
I ruffle my brows and then immediately turn to where Callugi's looking.
Holding the torch up, he points. Well, look at that. What does that mean? It looks like nothing to you. It just looks like the wall.
What do you mean, Callugi?
Why don't you see it? Line.
I'm looking at a wall.
He reaches forward and grabs your sunglasses off your face. Suddenly, with your eyes able to see with your natural vision, you can see that there's a kind of strange shape, kind of like a door shape, glowing slightly. And as you move the torch around, it becomes more and more illuminated. You see it?
By the gods. Is that our way out?
You've got beautiful eyes, you know. Why do you wear these things?
Oh, I'm shy.
All right. He hands them back to you.
Thank you. And I put him back on.
Well, what does it mean?
Doesn't that mean that that's our way out?
Right, but... He starts pressing the wall. Puts an ear to it. Well, there's something there, right? That's the door, right?
I suppose. Do you hear anything on the other side?
Sounds like rocks.
Rocks?
Yeah, like a wall. Like I can't hear anything.
Okay. I begin to examine this wall.
Yeah, roll me another dice.
17.
Hey! Rolling high enough. Now that you can see the kind of shape of the wall, you can see that the bricks and the way that it's laid out are clearly designed to be able to be moved. The light showing you where the wall is helps you to figure out that this for sure is able to be moved in some way, but you get the sense that the mechanism that would probably move this wall in some way, that it looks like it would probably move backwards in the sense that like away from you and then fold out or slide further into the wall in some way like that, like a secret doorway. The mechanism surely has to be opened from the other side. There can't possibly be a way to do it from this side. It really does seem like the only reason that the wall exists in this way is just in case you happen to have locked yourself in, I suppose. It does seem to reveal that there is a doorway here, but how to open it, almost certainly impossible from this side without any very specialized tools or something like explosive, maybe magic.
I immediately turn to Callugi. This is probably how they're getting in here, but I don't see any way of us getting out from here. The mechanism is probably on the other side. I mean, do you have anything perhaps that, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't imagine like a lockpick, considering there's nothing to pick here.
Well, we're buggered then, I suppose.
No, let's not give up that easily. I feel like we have a strong bond, and if we put our heads together, we can come up with something.
Right. I suppose they've got to come down here at some point. Maybe you stand on that side and I stand on this side, and we hope that it's not Sumlow.
Well, yeah. I was also maybe thinking we cause some sort of diversion or something, make some noise to get them to come back here, and then we surprise them.
All right.
and we make our way out of here.
All right. That sounds good.
Really? I don't know how we're gonna surprise them, Bill.
Well, we could pretend to be having a fight, right? They don't want us to kill each other.
Oh, I don't want to fight you though.
No, I don't want to fight you either. You're literally like half a god, right? I mean, don't you have? And he reaches forward and starts tickling your belly. Don't you have something in there?
No, not Jesus. No, I got nothing in there.
Yeah, you said there was something in there.
Well, maybe. Well, it's not there anymore.
Right. Well, we could just pretend to fight,
Okay.
right? You just, I'll punch this wall and you punch that wall, and we'll just react as if we're being punched.
Okay, I'm gonna slap the wall and you know.
Ow, stop it.
That I'm slapping you. Yes.
Oh, it really hurts.
You like that, Callugi? Do you like that?
Get
yes.
off me.
Do you
Right,
like
that
that?
does
I
it,
knew
you.
like
I'll
that.
kill you, I say. He
What?
starts
I mean,
hitting the
what?
wall as well. Right, both of you can roll dice. One for Callugi, one for you. And this is basically a performance check. Is that 6 yours?
Yeah, I didn't.
On a perform? Oh, no. It's terrible. You guys start making a whole ruckus, a bunch of noise, hitting the walls. Callugi's jumping up and down. He starts like hitting his belt against the wall, so it sounds like something's dinging off the wall. You're kind of screaming. Eventually, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes later, suddenly there's a hard kind of gajung, and then the sound of like stone grinding against stone. The piece of the wall that starts moving back is where the door was that you were expecting to move. It moves backwards and starts moving to the left, folding in on itself somewhat, kind of moving further into the wall, the secret door opening up. Callugi turns to you. And
I
then...
turned to Callugi.
Wait, we didn't come up with the next part. What are we doing?
I guess I'm so shook that I'm just standing there.
Yeah. A very, very long rifle slowly pokes its way through the door and rests itself against the side of your head, resting on the back of your shoulder. And you hear the voice of Werston say, "That's got to be the worst acting I've ever heard from a bard."
It's not my forte.
It actually works in your favor. And you? Well, it's about what I expected from a drunk. Oh, well, I'm not actually that drunk right now, so maybe if you'd like to help me on my way, did you bring anything? No. All right. 2 of you, finally made your way out, did you?
Wait, are you trying to tell us that we were supposed to do this?
It was a sort of, intelligence test.
An intelligence test? All right, look, I may not be the brightest bulb here, but this was a test?
I left you in a room with lockpicks and it took you 2 weeks to get out.
You did, actually.
This is a point, you know. So it did take us a little while. We were having just such a great time.
Yeah, we were having a great time. It was like vacay. A little bit, but we were locked out.
Right. Well, you're out just in time. We're going on a little trip. He throws 2 kind of circular collars on the ground that might be used for a big kind of mastiff dog or something. Put them on. Carefully.
Careful. Okay. I then put it on.
And he throws 2 coats out. One is even bigger than the thing that Callugi is used to wearing. It's a big, kind of fine-looking thing. The type of thing that you might see on like a noble in the thick of winter. The lining of it kind of a fur of like something like maybe a bear or something really rare to put on the inside of a coat. Covering everything, including the collar of your... these metal collars that he's thrown on the ground. He throws these 2 coats down. Yeah, put them on as well.
Jesus. Okay, I then put on the cloak.
So the 2 of you clip these metal collars in place. They sit around your neck kind of snugly. Really, it just feels like a very heavy metal ring. Quite thick. You can tell when you pick it up that it's got some sort of mechanism on the inside, and when it closes, it locks in place with what feels like part magnet and maybe a little a mechanism that locks together. Callugi puts the thing on and then gets a coat and says, "Can't I wear my coat?"
No, that one's got to cover the collar. Show anyone you're wearing a collar, and I'll activate the collar.
Wait, activate? What do you mean? What does this thing do? What does this thing do around my neck?
You can't be trusted.
We can't be trusted. What?
No, not quite. But I've got one lead left to follow. Really the only one I've got left. The Inquisitor has been looking into something, and you are required to come with me to look into it.
Okay, look, we're not your guinea pigs, all right?
We're going to see your friend Aura.
You have aura?
No, maybe, I'm not sure. I don't really know what's going on either, if I'm honest. Another Inquisitor has been working with Aura on something.
Well, if aura's involved, well, you can expect no hesitation from me.
Alright. In my pocket is a thing known as a dead man switch. It's a mechanism that sends a high-pitched noise to the mechanism in your collars. If my hand loosens, the collar will release 6 small blades into each of your necks. So no funny business.
Jesus.
If anyone asks your nobility,
Well, I sort of am nobility. Really.
Well,
no, you're not.
Well, I mean, people know my name.
That doesn't make you a noble.
well, you're of nobility to me, Callugi.
He actually is nobility, sort of.
What?
Or you're a bastard. Alright,
Well,
I'm tired. Come on.
Werston kind of pockets his rifle, hiding it under his own cloak. He's actually dressed formally as well. It looks like he's off to a ball. The thing that he's wearing is like these fineries, this kind of nice tunic with these really posh looking trousers and belt. He's wearing shoes instead of boots, and he's got a really long cloak that kind of runs all the way down to the ankles. It hides his really long gun. The rifle he's using is like a repeating rifle looking thing. And he puts it in somewhere underneath his cloak, kind of hiding out of the way, and then he begins to walk ahead. Ahead of you, you can see a pretty long corridor leading up to a set of stairs that seem to head upwards, if you're following him.
oh, I'm absolutely following him.
The 3 of you head out from the Inquisition dungeons. And that is where we're going to flip over to Reginald, Aura, and what do we call Ellie today, I wonder? You guys are heading towards the Wild Hand Tavern. A few hours have passed and you guys are dressed up. What do you two look like as you and a posh-looking Reginald head towards this meeting with Werston at this very high-end establishment?
I feel like, well, Aura's got this like lacy ball gown on and just stiffly walking with a corset tied. It's really poofy at the bottom. It's got pastel colors woven throughout. She's walking like someone who's never really walked in heels before. So she's trying to saunter very, very like confidently, but her like ankles keep getting bent as she takes some steps and hits the cobblestone. And she's trying to like stand up straight and like walk with confidence, but it probably doesn't look like that from a distance.
What about Ellie?
Listen, I look comfortable as shit. So flat shoes on that are a little worn. I got some black pants. I have a couple holes in them here and there with some pockets. I got a white, but like it's like kind of dirty off-white. Like it's been washed several times and been dirtied several times as well. And then a scarf and a little hat. And I have, my hair tucked up into it as much as I can. To give sort of an appearance like it is a little shorter, even if it's not. And yeah, I look really comfortable. I got things I have underneath the shirt. I have I'm wrapped, so I'm flat as a pancake. And yeah, that's about how I look. Got a little bag on the side.
Reginald is wearing shoes, nice trousers, kind of strong-looking tunic, the floofy thing that you forced him to purchase, a little sort of bow tie-looking thing around his neck, and comfortable cloak. It's drizzly outside. The rain.
The fact that
What is this noise I can hear? I can hear KPP from somewhere. I don't know why. Does anyone else hear it, or am I imagining things? The three of you are walking up the street, I think, with Reginald and Aura taking the lead, and they're sort of like serving child following behind this servant boy. It's a relatively common sight. The further uptown you get, you will see this quite often. People walking around and they'll have a servant a few paces behind, often carrying items for them. The three of you are heading towards the tavern. Reginald turns to you, Ellie, and says, "What are we calling you again?"
Eli?
Eli, right? Yes, of course.
Kind of like Ellie, but Eli.
Right.
Easy to remember.
That's yes. Well, of course. Most likely, we'll just refer to you as boy.
That works.
Yes.
I guess I'll have to put on a little more high-pitched of a voice. I'm gonna be convincing as a boy.
Yes. And Aura, if anybody asks, you're from out of town.
Well, I could try to act like I'm from town.
Well, they would know.
Yeah, don't say that, and don't say
Everybody
you're from
knows
Bane
everybody.
because they would probably do the same thing that one lady
Yes,
did.
there's no
What's
such
a good
thing.
place? What's a good place? Let me think.
Just say you're from Striletto.
There you go.
I know nothing about Stiletto.
Well,
Just pretend like you know everything, like everyone else here.
yes. The good thing about Striletto is that a lot of people from Bellona sort of think people from Striletto are a little eccentric.
Here's.
Okay. So I need to act more eccentric. Okay.
I lay my hand on Aura's shoulder. I'm like, here's the deal. Even if you're making up complete garbage, stand by it. No one will question it. Just stand by it.
Like just
Complete
even
garbage.
if it's this, even if I don't
You could
believe it,
literally say the sky's purple in Stiletto, and they'd be like, okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll just whatever I say is true, and I believe it.
You gotta believe it. See, that's the difference. You gotta believe that it's true, and people don't really question that. And if they do, just be like, listen, if you've not been there, or if you haven't been there recently, then you don't know. You don't know anything. I can't believe you question me.
Should I do an accent?
Give us one real quick.
Hello, I'm from Stiletto. This is my betrothed, Reginald.
It's perfect.
Yes, I suppose that'll have
Perfect.
to do.
I
like it.
I feel like I think the sky is purple, and I don't care what you say.
If you're gonna do that, you gotta go with the hand motions.
This is unnatural. Like, who does?
Fake
this
people
might
do
be-
it.
Oh, okay. What are other things that fancy people say?
Talk about your money and
I'm
all the
very
items you have.
rich. Did I say that?
Yeah, you said you're very rich.
Okay.
Talk about how many houses you own, like how many servants you have, how many anything.
I
Tools.
have 4 servants who help me with all of my tasks. Right, sweetie? And I pat Reginald's face and run my hand down his cheek.
Right. Yeah. Well, perhaps.
I call you boy? I have to call you boy?
Yeah, just
What do I call you?
I'm supposed to be Eli or boy. Boy more convincing. I mean, you're above me, remember? If you're-
Boy, fetch me my sword. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Ellie.
I hold out the sword.
Thank you.
Wait,
I'll work
why are
on
you
it.
carrying the sword now? Give it
I
back.
don't know. Okay, I don't.
Take the sword
I know.
back.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Hmm. Well, I suppose. Well, at least we'll be trying to sit away from everyone else.
What is that
Okay.
supposed to mean?
Well, we're almost there. Just leave most of the talking to me until we get inside.
I am a
have,
noblewoman. I feel like I have a place at the table as well.
Yes, but we're undercover.
Wouldn't it be weird for me to not talk?
But he knows more about
It's just that.
this kind of establishment, maybe, is what he's trying to say.
Yes.
Okay, I'll observe for a little bit and then I'll jump in when I feel like there's a good spot.
Just jump in whenever you want to say something completely posh and like
Okay.
have your nose in the air. Like you know, we already went over this.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
If you would like, perhaps you could arrange for some entertainment. That way we'll be sat outside.
And absolutely, under no circumstances should you mention me beyond boy. I'm a boy. I'm a servant. That's it. I serve you.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you could send him in to fetch something. That will give you a chance to scout the area out.
Yeah,
It's
good. Yeah.
Right.
Gee.
Well,
Kind of just drink wine? Is that what they drink? Not
No.
mead or beer? Because you could go in
practically
and get
drink
us wine.
whatever you like.
Well, meat's
World
pretty
is your
expensive. It's
oyster.
not like it's readily available. So if you want meat, go for meat.
I just feel like everything is very complicated in your social. Why does it have to be this complicated?
Because these people are full of shit.
Yes, it's frighteningly complicated for such simple people, but
Yeah.
just
Move
try
to the
and.
country. Nobody will do this to you.
It's fine. You'll get.
Mm.
It'll be. Once this is over with, you never have to come back in here. You can burn the dress.
Yes, most of the people in here probably own your farms and.
No, I own my own
Produce.
farm.
Right, but who do you sell that produce to?
I don't know. There's just carts that come through the village. We have our own market
And
that I
who
sell
do you
at.
think owns those carts?
I don't know. They don't own my farm though. They pay me for my produce. I have the deed to my own farm.
Yeah, she probably owns her farm, but they keep you in business.
That's very nice. Right.
They eat a lot.
Well, here it is. He points forward towards a sort of a crossroads, like a Y road. On the center of the Y, there is a particularly standout building. You might have walked past it several times. It sits relatively central in the kind of high town area. When you guys will have come to the Inquisition HQ, you probably would have walked past it. The fortress stands relatively close by as well. The safe house that you first met Reginald at is near here. You can see that there is an establishment known as the Wild Hand. It's a red brick building with a sort of timber frame to it. It's clean looking. It's about 2 stories, but it's a tall 2 stories with an orange shingled roof with all of this sort of this decorative twists and turns to some of the elements of it. It looks like somebody paid to have the architecture upgraded and kept neat, whereas a lot of buildings in most of Bellona are kind of falling apart, patches and holes in the roof, different coloured shingles all over it. This looks relatively clean and well kept. There doesn't seem to have been any damage from the fall of magic about 3 weeks ago. There's a sort of decorative point and spire on the top that I think you could probably spy out, Ellie. There's a row of well-kept flowers on the outside that sit on the outside of the building, and also towards the entrance area there is a sort of slightly raised deck area with chairs and tables. There's even a small stage for performers, more than likely used in the summer, more so than on a drizzly day like today coming up to winter. But it does mean that the outside chairs, there's only a couple of people kind of milling around out there. It's a little more private, and it's also where you arrange to meet with Werston. there's a big wide doorway that doesn't lie opened. You have to open the doors, which is different to most of the taverns in town where you can just kind of wander in. Some have the saloon doors that you might find in an old Western. And you can see a couple of members of clientele moving in and out. You can see that they're wearing clothes that are frighteningly similar to the ridiculous garb that you guys are wearing. And Reginald points towards the doorway and says, right, we'll head on in. We'll see if I can sit us on the outside. It'll seem a little strange, I would imagine, to them that we'd want to sit outside in the drizzle and the rain. We might be able to arrange for an umbrella of sorts, perhaps.
Why don't you just go sit inside? You don't have to sit in the rain.
Well, because we want a vantage point for you, do we not?
Do I know that I can probably see them from the inside too?
I don't think that you would have really had any reason to have been in here before, so I don't think you know what the inside looks like. You wouldn't have a good vantage point from the outside looking in. It's pretty open and obvious here. A little sort of serving boy staring into the window of an establishment wouldn't be too crazy, necessarily, but you might get ushered along by guards and stuff like that. There's not a great vantage point for sort of like, you know, incapacitation and kill shots and whatever assassins things that are running through Ellie's dark mind. You certainly wouldn't have a good secretive position. You'd probably have to be quite out in the open. It's not ideal unless you get inside and see that there's a change on the inside.
Well, come on then. If we're gonna see what the inside looks like, we might as well go in. I can tell you if going up would be a better option inside or out, but sitting in the rain doesn't seem very smart.
Very well. If you're ready, Aura. He gestures forward.
You see Aura like straighten up and like does a weird thing with her hands and kind of puts them in a
Like I don't even it
prayer
doesn't even
position.
faze me because it's like I've been around people like this before and I'm just like, yeah, they're all like that.
like scanning the room to see like what other people are doing and trying to like emulate what these posh people are doing.
Yeah, you head on in. Walking up a couple of steps to these big wide doors. Reginald opens the door for you in a very gentlemanly fashion, and he does that same thing he did when he went into the stores, where he kind of stops being a relatively nervous overthinker, and suddenly he stands up straighter. He opens the door and then bows slightly and allows you to walk in. As you step through and step in, Aura, with Ellie standing on the outside, the room kind of opens up to you as you step in. You can see now that this place is it's an oddly unkempt interior, but as if it's done by fashion. It's nice, it's purposefully built in such a way that it's supposed to look relatively homely, yet it's freshly painted with sort of black and white on a lot of the walls, kind of a strange checkered pattern that contrasts with the weird homely, warm, immediate entrance that you get. There are these well-made tables with about 50% of the clientele taking up most of them. There's a very large warm hearth keeping the interior very brightly lit. As you step in, you realize this place has got chandeliers and sconces and a hearth, and it's really brightly lit compared to a lot of taverns which only have like a hearth and a few sconces going, and people don't really care about light. This is all lit up. There are paintings all around the walls, each one with a sconce on either side with a small light next to it. Most of them look like royalty, past queens of Alexandria mostly. There's a modern-looking painting above the hearth that looks like the current queen, Queen Belstriel, that I don't know if you would have ever have seen a painting of, but that's what it is. I think for sure Ellie would know, but I don't know if they really care about anything like that in BAME. She's a kind of strong-looking woman. She fixes you with a deadly stare as soon as you step in. You can see this kind of strong, muscular woman posed in little more than a green robe. There's quite a lot of skin showing, and she's got this diamond inlaid crown, the crown of Alexandria, sitting on her head, and it really sits as a very like obvious centerpiece, like a like you're supposed to immediately see and admire it. The clientele, looking around, you can see are mostly like nobility. Ellie might recognize some of them. Reginald for sure recognizes some of them as lesser nobility houses of Bellona. These aren't the absolute upper echelon. Ellie's probably just had lots of run-ins. There's probably several houses of people here that you've just heard about or seen mentioned in tourneys, or just famous types or major players in certain things. There's probably people in here that are part of houses that you've murdered people from for other houses here, because they're all at war and they're all awful. There's the Wall Steeples, there's the Montbows, there's the Rothlows, there's the Early family, and they're sitting at these tables wearing these absurdly expensive gowns and these tailored suits and these ridiculous hats and things, most of them smoking something, drinking from these strange long tankards with these wide glasses as is fashionable. It's a very strange thing, I think, for you, Aura. This is madness. It looks like you've walked into like the Mad Hatter's Tavern. Like, it's just stupid. The contrast of different things here is ridiculous, but it's obviously become part of a fashion. Ellie, whether you've been in here or not, or passed it or recognized anything from it, it changes quite a lot. They change the decor and things in here all the time. And Reginald, as he opens the door, steps in front of you, Ellie, immediately treating you as if you are a ghost. Lets the door kind of swing closed behind him. You're carrying, by the way, Reginald's stuff and Aura's stuff. And you're like dragging these things in. The door kind of half closes on you.
It makes me look even more like a kid, because I'm not necessarily, Ellie's not necessarily really big. Like, and so she's just like got this stuff in her arms, like walking behind them.
Yeah.
And I changed my walk too to be more like it would be a kid and not like an assassin. Less finesse.
You guys, with Ellie kind of half being closed in the door as she steps through, are immediately greeted by a pretty tall, like a 6'1", but plump-looking gentleman with auburn hair that's graying in places and very dull green eyes in all of these expensive clothes. He has trousers that flare on, which you might notice, and Reginald immediately notices because you turned him off from wearing trousers that flare at the bottoms. As soon as you, Aura, and you, Ellie, recognize it, you look around and every gentleman in here is wearing flared bottom trousers. He wanders towards you, spinning a kind of quill or something like that in his hands, and takes a few steps before realizing who Reginald is. You see his eyes open up, and he says, "Oh, my boy, it's been so very long. What on earth are you wearing, my dear?" Reginald says, "Oh, well, you know how it is. I've been very busy working. I've been in Streletto, and you know, this is, well, why don't you introduce yourself, my dear?"
At this moment, Aura's face has a moment of panic because she never came up with a fake name, and she wasn't sure she was supposed to. I am from Streletto, and my name is Tiffy.
Please roll me a dice.
Lady Tiffy, will you let me go to the pisser, please?
In a minute, boy. In a minute, boy. And you know what? We're in a nice establishment. Don't say that word.
To the... not... What do I call it then?
The pisser. You could call it the pisser.
The pisser.
Yes, but yes. Well, let's get a table first. Then you could go to the pisser.
My dear Tiffy, like speaking over you, Ellie. Like this, this gentleman steps forward. He grabs your hand, Aura. He bows a little, kisses you on the hand. He does something very strange. He takes in a deep sniff of your hand as he does so. He lets go of your hand and then looks over at Reginald and says, "It's been so very long since I've seen your father. Please tell him to stop by at some point." Reginald says, "Yes, it's been so very long since I've seen him as well. He's in good health, though. We speak very regularly." The gentleman in front of him says, "I'm sure you do. A table for two, then? Or are you expecting company?" He says that to you, Aura.
We're expecting companies. I don't know, Reggie. How many should we have at our table? 4? 3?
That's me, my lady.
Oh, we need a stool for the boy.
Reginald starts laughing as well. That's very good, very good. Yes,
I love to make jokes.
I'll get you a table for 6 in case other company comes as well. And he starts to move in. I can sit you by the windows, or perhaps you'd like to be in the center here. Reginald, quickly stepping forward, says, the large window at the back, yes? Glancing at you, Ellie.
I've already, like, looked up.
There's, this kind of open plan room. There's no bar like you would expect in a tavern. You can see that there's a doorway with a serving child bringing out food from a kitchen. You can also see that there's a stairwell in that kitchen, and there's a stairwell on the in kind of the center of this room to a degree that leads up to the next floor.
Are there any like rafters or something above?
Not really, no. It's kind of open. It's just got timbered, reinforced, whatever they're called, those things, beams that run along the center.
There's nowhere to like perch.
It's a pretty terrible room to find somewhere to perch. You might be able to put yourself out of the way somewhere in the back by the hearth. Your options really are the center of the room, where you might be able to get up the stairs and look down, as long as you remain hidden and no one really goes up the stairs, or go back outside and look in through the larger window that the open table is sat next to.
Yeah, I think I nod and say by the window. Or I just nod.
Yes, by the window. Really do think, I'd rather be by the window than the center of the room after what's been going on in town, wouldn't you say? Oh, it's absolutely ghastly. No magic, they say. Yes, no magic. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Reginald? No, I wouldn't know anything about that, of course. Business is business. To the window then, milady. And he kind of leans
like, I try
forward.
Shuffling towards trying not to pick up the heels so that I can look a little bit more proper.
All right, roll me a dice then.
An 8.
How do you want to kind of fail doing this?
I picture that one gif or video of that girl on a runway. And her legs just start bowing out.
It's just a nightmare all the way to a chair where you finally kind of just ready yourself barely at the chair.
And I lay myself, like I sit down, but I remember what Ellie told me, where I just need to own it. So like as I'm wobbling my way over to the table, my legs are bowing every which way. I get to the chair and I just sit down and act as if nothing happened.
It seems as if you've had a tipple already. What would you like to drink, my dear?
Your finest wine.
Finest wine coming right up. We've got some
Oh,
imports.
yes. My lady loves wine, especially the red wine. The red wine, it's her favorite.
You are completely ignored. Like, as you get halfway through that sentence, he says, we've got some lovely imports, and I suppose you'll be having the same, Reginald. Yes, I'll have the same. Thank you very much.
Do you have any charcuterie boards?
What?
Roll me a dice.
12.
Yes, my dear, of course. We can get you a charcuterie board, of course.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I would love some selections of meats and cheeses from the
Of
local
course.
region.
My lady,
yes,
the
of course. We'll
pisser.
get the finest from Bellona.
Just go to the pisser, boy.
I drop everything right there
Yeah.
next to her, and I turn around and like start shuffling away.
Yeah, Reginald kind of pulls a chair for you to sit in and sits on the other
Thank
side.
you, Reggie.
The gentleman moves away, and Reginald says, that's Borin Wall Steeple. He's quite... they're from an influential family, so...
Why did he smell my hand?
Well, I wish I knew. They're an eccentric lot.
Is that something you do? You never smelt my hand?
No, I really don't rub shoulders with these people as often as I can.
You fit right in.
Well, yes, that would be my family's fault. Thanks. I'm not sure which.
How am I doing?
Fine.
Thank you.
We just need to have a conversation with Werston and then get out of here. There's no way he's going to cause a ruckus in a place like this, so a conversation it should be, at least.
Do I need to act like Tiffy with him?
No, he knows exactly and precisely who you are.
Oh, okay. I can keep doing it while he's here.
Well, In theory, he should be bringing Beau and Callugi, so...
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, I expect nothing less than a disaster, but I'll have to see.
But you gotta think positive, though. It'll be okay, right?
Right. I suppose so. Ellie, where do you go?
I would like to scope out the place first.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna run around while doing the potty dance, like holding my crotch while I'm like bouncing around. Like I'm pretending to find the bathroom and I don't know where it is.
No
I'm
one is
gonna
looking at you.
Yeah, no one. I figured that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm doing it. The more awkward
You're
I
a
am,
ghost.
the more people like turn away. Like, oh my god.
You're a pure ghost walking through here. Every now and then you do catch the eye of a couple of other serving people. There are a couple of sort of like they're matching children, really. They're young looking. Some may be in their 20s. Some could be as young as 10. There's only 2 or 3 of them sitting around. Every now and then somebody will come rushing out from the kitchen and drop some drinks or food on a table. Nobody says thank you or acknowledges that this child has brought them food, and then they disappear again. For the most part, there seems to be 2 layers going on. There are a few serving children moving around. There are a few standing quietly by tables with the people that they work for, and you fit right in. Realistically, moving around, it really does seem like no one sees you. You also don't see any guards or anyone who might be guarding the establishment, which for you would seem weird. There's no way this place would be completely unguarded. So I think as you do your search, you can be aware of that. Roll a dice for me as you kind of scan the area.
Oops, 8.
An 8. Yeah, you look around. There's no guards. It's crazy to you. They have to be concealed. It has to be that somebody in here is pretty much doing exactly what you guys are doing. Disguised as a noble, there's probably somebody in here who's very well trained, who sits at one of these tables acting a part, but is probably actually kind of a hired guard of some kind. The odds that one of the people in here is some sort of knight or tourney knight is very high as well, but the odds that these kind of high-end tourney knights that come to establishments like this are hired as well are very low. So I'm not sure, I don't think, whether there's a sort of secret guard who's just a mystery member of one of these people, designed to just kind of quietly sit there until something goes wrong, or whether they just kind of rely on the fact that there will most certainly be other noble knights in here just in their time off, in their casuals. You can see that several people do have swords next to the tables, but that's also not uncommon, even for the average citizen. So it's a little strange to you for that.
The servant boys as they're walking by, like one that came from the kitchen. I'm like, excuse me,
Oh
what
my
happened
God.
to all the guards?
I'm not supposed to talk to you.
Why? Is
Looks
it
at
because
you
I smell?
What?
Do I smell?
You do smell, yeah. Everyone
Does that
smells.
smell?
It smells like shit, doesn't it? What do you want?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to brush my teeth. See, my lady doesn't give me a lot of time, but there's no guards.
What? Guards?
How are we supposed to stay safe if there's no guards?
I ain't telling you where the guard is.
I'm not worried.
I'll
There
get
are
10
guards
lashings.
then. Oh, there are guards then.
You don't want to be... You don't want to be stealing from in here.
Oh, I'm
steal
not
from the
gonna
street.
steal. That's a good idea. And I turn around and walk away.
The kid is like watching you walk out and then kind of turns back around. The plate that he's holding of food, he runs off. He's like maybe 12 or something. He looks exactly like you do and runs over to a table and puts this big kind of selection of meats and cheeses and things on the table in front of Aura. You see him turn and move away very swiftly as you're presented with this pretty nice looking food, actually, or it probably would actually be very tempting, because you will see on this plate multiple meats and cheeses and sort of like little bread things and like something that might be like a cracker or something like that and a biscuit or something. It's olives and stuff. It's really nice looking. You've just come from Bane, where everyone is literally starving, and there's this really nice little platter of just ridiculous food. that's just presented to you within like 2 minutes. Kid kind of just puts it on the table carefully, very quietly. He doesn't make a noise and then moves away from the table very quickly. Reginald unconsciously just picks up a piece of cheese and starts eating it, looking at the door.
Since he does that, I start grabbing like a little piece of cracker and putting some cheese on it. How much does this cost?
Well, quite a lot. Most people in here are nobility from town, so everything is done, quietly. There's an exchange of money. A serving boy will come and pick up gold from the estate the next day after a night of whatever debauchery they're up to,
Food is like not easily accessible where I'm from right now. How is this possible?
Oh, that's because it's all here.
I'm really learning a lot about things today.
Yes, it's quite awful, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Oh, it gets much, much worse than this. This is nothing. The secrets I know.
I look around the room as he's talking to me and just look at the people like, are they acting like anything's wrong?
No. They're having the time of their lives. This is just an average evening for them. They're all just laughing and drinking and talking, and you'll see like a couple of people point and snigger at something that someone else has done. They're just
how many like
fine.
servants, like how many servant boys are there, and just like invisible, poorly treated staff am I seeing?
Every other table has a sort of servant-looking person standing next to them. Some of them are kind of poor-looking urchin children like Ellie is dressed up as. Some of them just look more kind of like butlers and serving staff. All of them standing quietly to one side, just silently invisible. From the kitchen, you see, probably after watching for a minute, you'll see 4 or 5 different children ranging from about 10 to maybe 18 come running out. They're wearing a sort of uniform, but really is little more than a relatively clean tunic and trousers with like an apron on.
Please tell me they get paid for this.
Well, they get paid in a way, I suppose. They get room and board, food, little better than they would get on the streets.
They know what's going on outside. Why are they acting like this?
Well, they sort of live a blinkered life. They always have.
What about you? You live a blink of life?
Blinkered like a horse, dear. Just see what
I've
they
never
want
heard
to
that.
see.
You and your city folk languages and your city folk phrases. Just like say what you mean.
Yes, well, I had never seen a plow until I was 30.
If you ever want to come up to the farm, you can come up and help me plant some seeds and then watch them grow. You want to get away from this.
Well, I may be out of a job, so I may just take you up on that.
It's a lot simpler. A lot less corrupt.
Yes, well, there's corruption everywhere as long as
What
you
are you
look
doing?
for it.
You almost hit me in the pisser there. Milady.
Yes,
I can't find
boy.
the pisser. I looked everywhere. I even asked the boy and he had nothing to say. Nothing at all. Can't
What
find
if
it.
you went outside and pissed in the street?
Right.
Isn't that
oh,
where
my lady's
that's
so
where you
smart.
should be pissing
you're so-
anyway?
Why are you yelling?
I'm sorry. I don't know. And I'm trying to like scrape off some meat and cheese and like sneakily slide it over to her. It's really good.
I grab it. I grab it and immediately shove it in my face without like care if anyone's looking.
Do you need to piss? And go out into the street. For all I care.
Fine. And I turn around and I start to walk out the door.
Yeah, roll me a dice, Ellie.
Okay. 13.
13. You head out the door, and about 30 feet away from you, kind of coming up towards the entrance of the outside kind of area, you see Beau, Callugi, and a Fearbolg walking towards the doorway.
I immediately go like that and then like keep walking.
Yeah. Beau, you and Callugi have just removed the sacks from your head and find yourselves in the early evening Bellona streets. You feel like you've been walking for a little while. If you had to guess, you were somewhere around the eastern low town before where he pulled you up out of this kind of room, up some stairs, turned a left, did a right, wandered down some streets, and then eventually took these sacks off of your heads. He turns to the both of you and says,
Right, we're going in there. Either of you been in there before?
I can't say I have.
Nah, never have I. We're not really sure what to expect when we get in there then.
Callugi is kind of sauntering forward. I've actually been in there before. So, I know. I'm a very important person. Or I was. Well, I am, sort of. They won't let me back, though. That's the problem. I don't think I can go in there. They'll kill me on sight.
Oh, you're kidding.
What did you do so bad?
Yeah, what did you do that's so bad?
Well, that is a very long story that involves 3 women and a very large cat.
And,
Maybe a story for another time, or at least maybe we could get me a disguise or something. Yeah, give me them glasses.
I take off my sunglasses, which, by the way, I never do.
Why the hell do you wear these at night?
I like wearing my sunglasses at night. Okay?
No wonder you couldn't see the doorway. Can you see any doorway in these things?
I did too.
Wait, did you wear these underwater?
I did too.
You just wear these all the time, no matter what. When you're sleeping, do you take them off?
I never. They were my mother's. So.
Right. Oh,
happy
right.
with me at all times.
Right, I'll guard them with my life then.
You better.
Yeah, well, it's not much. Not worth much, but I'll guard them with what you're right. Alright. Alright, I look different now, right?
Totally. You
Okay.
look like, well, not Callugi.
Okay, I'll have to change my voice. How does this sound if I do a voice and accent like this then? If I sound different?
Yes, you
Alright,
do
perfect.
actually.
I'll go with that then. I'll sound like this. Werston looks at you two and says,
Alright. Now I'm not sure what to expect. It might not even be Reginald. It could be the other Inquisitors. I don't know. Been a while since I've seen any other Arcanine Inquisition.
Oh,
They're,
geez. Well, alright. Well, I've met Reginald before. I'll keep a lookout.
yeah, well, if shit hits the fan, you're probably fucked. Remember what I said.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get to that.
No funny business.
No funny business.
Alright.
Werston looks kind of weirdly nervous to be going into such an establishment, this very high-end looking wonderful establishment. The 3 of you step forward and head towards the doorway, and that is where we're going to flip over back to the Alexandria Great Road and the cart with our other heroes. You guys are well into your journey. It is the middle of the night, and you will have been traveling all day, some of the night, and apart from the one incident with some goblins, you have been pretty unhindered. I don't think you really would have seen anything. Maybe a little wildlife here and there, but nobody else on the road. When we left you, and this would have been several hours ago, it was, I think Cairo was driving, Toby was up on the front, and the twins and Suuna were in the back kind of snoozing. Has that changed?
How many hours ago did you say?
Let me think. It would have been probably like we're well into the evening now, so we're looking at like it's probably like 3, 4 a.m. something like that. So it would have been 6 or 7 hours ago we last saw you.
Yeah, I would imagine there might be a shift in a 7-hour stretch.
Mm-hmm. The
Shift
twins
change,
don't seem to be able to deal with the cart. By the way, if at all they kind of like looked, maybe they were pointing at some point with you, Cairo, when Suuna was snoozing. They were like pointing at things, but they just seemed quizzical, like they've never really seen a cart. Maybe they knew what a horse was and they know what a cart does, but they were curious about like the harness and the reins and things. But it certainly seems like they have no experience with driving something like this. Of course, they were unable to really vocalize it much more than just kind of watching you, and then they would copy certain things to each other while they discussed in their own language. But I think you certainly get the idea that they won't be taking a shift here, or at least if they do, it would probably be chaos.
Sure. Or the, lesson. I think probably after, 6.5 hours or so, I would reach behind me and tap Toby or Suuna. Or no, wait,
No,
Toby, you're up front with me.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
I just stated Toby. Getting a little sleepy here.
Aye, me too.
Maybe we should see if Suuna wants to take a turn.
Yeah, sit up with one of the twins maybe and have a wee chat or something with them.
Sure. You mind waking her up?
Yeah, sure. I lean back and just reach over and just shake her shoulder lightly.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. I've not really slept before now, so
Oh, right,
a little jarring experience. All right. Hello.
getting used
Is
to it.
everything all right?
Yeah, it's just been,
Oh.
Sorry, for a sec.
Oh, right. It's time to switch. I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, no.
Oh, don't do that. You're gonna.
Oh, sorry. Involuntary.
Got me.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, that
It's
one
all
took a
right.
wee sec. Right, hey, you wanna grab one of the kids and just...
I can take over definitely, and I will. I'll just crawl over top there and tap Cairo on the shoulder. Well done. I'll take it from here.
Thank you. I'll just take a little nap, I think.
The twins
I'll
are
trade
fully
places.
asleep.
Oh, precious.
Right, which one?
Oh,
you have a
don't worry.
preference?
Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm
No,
fine by
no,
myself. I insist. It's
I-
probably best we let everyone else rest.
I insist harder.
No, you're not.
Hmm.
You're not winning this one.
I definitely am.
Do not wake them up. I'm fine for a couple of
Oh,
hours.
well,
I'll
see,
let
the
you
thing
know
is-
if I need anything.
No, we
I sit down and I'm no
not
longer listening to him.
comfortable with it.
And
Yes,
I'm just.
Karen,
Keepy tuck him into my clook and hunker down.
you agree with me, Cairo, right? We get one of them just in case. Just keep an eye open.
What? You're trying to... I'm not getting involved. And I pull the cloak.
I mean, you're a professional at this traveling and keeping safe thing, right? Sure, your opinion's the most qualified
I'm not...
for safety.
I said I can
I'm not-
handle it.
See? And I pull the cloak fully over my head. I tuck Keepy under one wing of the cloak and I hunker down for a nap.
I'm going over to Faraz.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to shake his shoulder a little bit.
He kind of wakes up pretty quickly. He reaches out for the staff that Suuna gave him last week.
Shh, 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 shh. Shh. Hey, you. I point up to Suuna. Watch. Yeah.
Nods his head back, stands up, picks up the staff, and just immediately takes what you're saying as if you completely understood you. Walks up to the front, sits, kind of
Oh, for
has to
crying out loud.
awkwardly move around everyone because it's like people
Yeah.
going from the back seat of a car to the front. It's the same thing. As he kind of moves around the edge, trying not to fall off, it hits a strange kind of cobblestone. He keeps his balance very well again, and then moves around to sit down next to you, Suuna.
He woke up as I was moving over.
No, he didn't. Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. I can't believe you didn't listen to me.
I pat him on the back.
Just go to sleep.
Good lad, well done, you. That's nice.
Just go to sleep.
Holds up the
just
staff that Suuna lent to him and waves
I would
it
like to
again.
use Prey Sense, the ability, please.
Yes, what is this ability of
You
yours?
sharpen your sense of danger for the next hour, which means we cannot be ambushed. Son of a...
Okay, roll me a dice then.
Wonderful. Highly annoying.
A 6.
6.
There is someone on the road ahead of you, maybe 5 minutes from now. From this point where you kind of have this shuffle, you begin to hear the snores of Ippo, the kind of soft warbling noises of Kipi sleeping. And next to you, you see your staff kind of pointing forward. The two of you get this sixth sense that there is somebody ahead of you, and yet with your eyes you can't see them for a moment before you see a figure on a horse begin to materialize in the distance. Because it's kind of muggy and the rain is it's lightly falling, there's not really much light. There's no moonlight, even though there's a moon up there somewhere. It's kind of muffled through these clouds. But eventually, in the distance, you do begin to see that there's someone on the road ahead of you. I think it gives you a strange feeling, whatever that feeling might be, to see somebody else on the road. What do you do first?
I would like to size up.
Okay.
You evaluate the capabilities of a nearby creature or group of creatures. The GM will give you useful insight to their capability, strength, vulnerabilities, and/or resistances. At a minimum, you will receive an accurate assessment from the GM about whether they would pose a fair fight.
It's really just a figure on the road at first. Veraz next to you is pointing forward. You see him kind of tense up a little bit. He grips the staff a little bit, but stays poised and silent. A little time passes as you notice that this figure is on a horse kind of trotting forward. The horse seems to be kind of tired, and the figure sitting in the saddle is slightly slouched, not in an injured or wounded way or anything like that, just exhaustion. You get this sense immediately that the person there is tired. However, as the person comes into view and your vision focuses a little better, the light allows you more detail on them, you can see that this is a woman. She has armor on. She looks pretty well armed. She has quite
That's
long
frightening.
red hair underneath a headband, kind of how the bandits wear headbands a lot of the time in Alexandria. 2 long swords sheathed underneath a big circular shield, big metal shield on her back. She's got a red cape running down her back, kind of sitting over the back of the horse. Her armor is like you might find on a knight, kind of rusted though. Parts look scavenged.
Oh, my.
You can see other elements, but I think she's too far away and it's too dark to make out any real details. She is fully asleep.
Oh, no.
And trotting towards you, but kind of holding a balance with her eyes closed on the top of this horse.
All right.
Horse is a
I
cheap-looking, old-looking, weak-looking thing as well.
I just pat the twin here gently on the leg. It's all
He
right,
immediately
baby.
jumps as if he's going to go, and then he settles
right.
again
No,
as
no,
he
no, no.
looks at you.
It's all right. And I'll slow the horses down. Pardon me?
Immediately, her eyes open up. She reaches up for a sword.
No.
You hear it unsheath
okay.
instantly. Shh.
Yes, you're all right. You're all right. You were just sleeping while riding, and I just wanted to make sure you were all right. Are you all right?
Her eyes widen. Her mouth drops. Her
You're
sword
okay.
lowers.
You're okay.
She looks down at her satchel on her side and reaches into it, pulling out
we
a
didn't take
piece of
anything.
paper. She thrusts it forwards towards you.
Sorry, it's dark in here and the rain. I can't really see. Is it all right if I come towards you? What is that?
You can see it. It's an image of Mother Numera on the image. It's a different drawing, not the same as you might expect from what Veraz had drawn for you. She looks at you and she seems to be blown away that you are here. She kind of seems kind of crazy for a moment as she jumps down. She drops her sword to the ground and jumps off of the horse kind of moving away as she looks over towards you, and then she shakes her head and says, I am sorry. I have been looking for you for so long.
Oh, sweetie, that's not me, but that's my mother.
No. This cannot be. You are the successor.
I mean, I guess so. She was my mother.
That is what it means. The tower.
Yes.
He pulls out from a satchel a tarot card that has the tower on it. Thrusts it towards you.
Yes. What does this card look like? Does it look like one of my mother's?
No, it looks
Okay.
very different. It's much bigger than your standard-looking tarot cards that you might find in Dustfell or even Alexandria. And on it in Draconic is the word tower. Not
I don't know
in...
if I know Draconic.
I think you do.
I don't think I do. I think I know some Infernal, but I don't think I know that. But I
yeah,
can
you know
gather what it
Infernal.
says.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's the tower.
Yeah,
It says it
right.
in Draconic.
I'd understand
You
what
can
it
assume what it
is.
says.
Yes.
She turns around a little bit and says, "You are the successor."
I don't know what that means, but I mean, she was my mother. I guess so.
She pulls her sword out again, throws the other one to the ground. She pulls the shield off of her back, kneels in front of you on one knee, digs the shield in front of her and bows her head.
That's really not necessary.
She says,
young lady, I just wanted to make sure you were all right.
"You are the one who must be protected."
It's a bit dramatic.
Aided and followed.
I am trying to save the world, and I find myself a bit more incapable than I used to be. So, any help that you would be willing to provide.
She bows even deeper behind the shield. On the shield, you can see a huge eye, and kind of, it's old again, old looking, rusted, kind of beaten. Looks like it's been used. With her head down, she says, "I pledge my life to you in the name of Severus."
Please get up. It takes a lot for me even to ask for help. You don't need all this theatrics.
She stands up. She puts the shield back on her back, kind of struggling with it. She seems very tired, and then looking up at you, bags under her eyes. You can see that she has, she's quite young looking. She has like quite clear skin, but she also seems to be quite strong. The armor she's wearing is pretty thick. Again, it doesn't seem to fit her perfectly. The swords that she's got are very large. She looks a little smaller than the armor and weaponry and shield that she's bearing. But she doesn't look any less capable. She still seems very strong. Probably a lot like Aura when you first met Aura. Maybe something along those lines. But she's dirty. She looks sweaty. Her hair's kind of greasy. under this headband. She says, "My name is Zyra."
Zyra, what a beautiful name. You look very tired. I'll reach up and I'll pat her cheek, and I'm going to use that ability that I have that makes them feel better than they've ever felt for an hour. Why don't you go in the cart, lay down, get some rest, and I'll just tie your horse up with ours, and we'll continue on our way together.
You touch her cheek and her eyes widen again. She is very confused. She grips your wrist as you do so. She says, "You still have magic?"
No.
You are able to see.
No.
You knew
Sadly,
I
I
would be
cannot.
here.
No, honestly, I didn't know. But I was never very good at seeing in advance. I just felt. I would just do what I felt I needed to do, and if I go in this direction, I go in that direction. If I skipped breakfast for a couple of weeks, I'd find out I was skinny enough to get through stone passageway, that kind of thing. I didn't know what I needed to do, I just did it.
They trained me to learn these things. But it's gone now.
I'm afraid for all of us.
My village elder, he sent me to seek you. And
To
to
seek
guard
me?
you. Say you have magic. You bring it back.
Well, I'll certainly try.
He say you are the successor. You are the tower now.
I don't know what that means, but
You
I
are.
will try to right what we did wrong.
She looks at you and fixes your eyes with her own stare. She says, "You have met Safras. You have."
And for the first time, I really smile. Yes, I did.
What he is like?
Like a warm cookie, and also the biggest ocean, and family, and all the things that you want to do in your life are still there. And you still have time to do them all at once.
She turns around and picks up one of the swords and points it down the road in the direction that you are headed and says, "Why you are go to this place?"
Well, my companions are there. I can't do this without them.
What are you going to do there?
I don't know. Deaveki, I think he's still here. And we can't bring back magic or correct anything unless we face him, whatever that means.
What is Deavek?
A god killer.
Safras?
No, I believe we were at fault for that. Mortals. Dragonfly. Have you heard of that?
These bugs.
Mortals got very angry and built a machine and killed the gods.
Yes, this explains
This
a lot.
probably sounds insane.
She just nods and accepts it. She picks up the second sword and puts it into the sheath on her back, and she says, "Where you go, I go.
Well.
What you face, I face. What attack you, I shield you from.
That's very sweet. But you can't do any of that without a good bit of rest. Oh, please.
This horse I have to bring back.
That's all right. We'll bring it with us. I'll tie it up right here, and suddenly we'll have 2 horses carrying the cart. Or I'll just have it ride along if it doesn't know how to do that.
She reaches down to a little pouch she's got on her hip. She opens it up and pours out 3 copper pieces and says, "This is all I have."
No, please. I don't need that. Put that away. Don't insult me now. Go get some rest. I can take care of this.
What I have, you have.
And same. I don't need that, and neither do you.
You have food?
Yes, it's in the cart. Help yourself.
Okay. We go to find your comrades. They fight?
I sure hope so. 1 second. Let me just introduce you.
She's looking over the cart.
Yeah,
I fight with 2 children, an old man.
They can also see, all right? We ran into them the same way I ran into you. They were waiting for me, so...
Toby and Kyra, you're probably stirring. Kyra kind of peeking out from under a cloak, and Tia, the other girl twin, is kind of waking up as well. She reaches for stuff and stands up immediately.
I kind of touch her shoulders here, and then I look at the twins and I point to my forehead. And then I point to her forehead. Understand?
The twins immediately look and they nod. They sit down, completely calm. She looks at them both and says, "Oh, these are not your children."
No.
Is that Cat? Cat and Bird?
Sort of. She's in disguise. But yes.
Hi, I'm Cairo, and this is Keepy.
I know many of cat kind. What is in your common tongue?
Guys.
Tabaxi.
Tabaxi.
Yeah, I'm not Tabaxi. I'm half elf.
Many wars fought with your kind. Strong warriors.
I start rubbing at one of the
it's a disguise. We're in hiding.
She's like so shocked. She's disgusted. Must not do this.
What? Why not?
Paint.
Dishonest.
Oh, well, sometimes...
Let me ask fair.
The world is at stake. What's a little makeup?
The world is at stake. You lie to save the world. You save nothing.
Oh, that's a bit dramatic.
Yes.
I think you might change your mind when you get to be a little bit older.
Well,
a little white lie now and again is totally acceptable.
Not to lie, not to steal, not to kill unless being killed.
Well, I agree with those other things, yes.
Yeah, and you don't lie unless you... If you could lie not to be killed, you'd lie, wouldn't you?
Bad men are hunting her. She is in our care. We need to protect her.
Right. Okay, I not lie, but I hit on head with shield. Person who try to capture.
That sounds great.
You make them go to sleep,
Yes.
and I tie them up.
And you just don't say anything at all. If anybody asks you about her, that way you don't have to lie. Sound good?
Pulls up her top, revealing like half a breast and all of her midriff, and she has this kind of like wild-looking, crazy scar that runs down her ribs, just underneath her breast. She says, "Look, I get this from Tebex."
Oh. I kind of look at my hands like we're a claw.
In fight, when I was just a girl.
Wow.
Lowers it again. Jumps up on the cart and looks around.
Please help her to some food.
This is not warrior band. I was told to find warrior.
Well, you're probably thinking of Aura. And she's in the city, I think. So
Old man, warrior, warrior,
Yes.
successor.
Those are my companions, and those are who I'm going to go meet.
The water god.
Yes,
She
he's
leans down
hopefully-
towards you, Hippo, kind of bowing a little.
Oh, that's no,
I
he's
pledge
not.
myself to your divine ways.
Could you imagine if he was a god? Excuse me, I'll get us on our way.
I think I'd know if that was the case. No, not me. What's your name?
I am Zaira Vigdis.
Right, Zaira. No, I'm not a water god. I'm Ippo. Yeah.
Hippo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a warrior. I killed a couple goblins a few hours ago. So
She rushes over, climbing across kind of awkwardly with like 1 foot kind of landing in an awkward way on you, Kyra, and she like kind of grabs at the thing, the cloak behind you, Hippo. She's looking at the weapon and she snarls a little bit. You'll use this.
Yep.
Craven weapon. From afar. No skill, not like bow.
Oh, there's
Okay,
definitely
well, there's
skill
no
to
need
Good
it.
for old
rude.
men. Good for old men to use.
Right, well,
Jeez.
yeah.
You can use sword.
He's quite
He
skilled
pulls the
with
sword
that
out
thing.
and thrusts it towards you.
Hey, well,
Oh, it's been
what's that?
I take a hold of it. It's been a long time since I used a sword for anything.
Hmm.
But I try to take like a practice swing and make it look good
Yeah, roll the dice
as
for
best
me.
I can.
It's pretty decent. You swing it around. You see her kind of looking at you. She nods and she
Ew.
crosses her arms, watching you do it. She says,
Oh,
"Yes, this is good. We have
Yeah,
to."
but-
And she's like standing up now, one leg up on the back of the car, and she's kind of partially got her back to you, Suuna, and she's
Yes.
looking over the people in the back of the car. She says, "Now we must be warrior band. Now we have to keep this one safe. At the cost of
Oh.
your life. At the cost of your life. At the cost of your life.
All right, sit down now. I'm
It's
I'm
very
going.
important.
right, yeah,
I
yeah,
will-
come, sit
I
down,
will
sit down.
Hmm.
Here's your,
And then we will
Yeah,
all
here's-
go to Tiorvelm.
to
sits
where
down.
now?
Tiorvelm.
A realm?
Tiorvelm.
Where are we going?
We will go to Tiorvelm in the Valley of the Vadran King. It is my home village. We will go there. We will drink real drink, eat real food, not small, skinny cat food here.
Suuna.
What?
You ever
What?
been to the Valley of the Vadran King?
No. And if that's where we're supposed to go, that's news to me, but I'll take it.
Do you mean after we fix things, we'll go there?
She will fix things as long as we keep her safe.
And you've
Right.
seen this?
No. Yeah, I am told. My
And
village
who to-
elder has 3 eyes. One in center of mind, can see in far into future. He speak of you.
Hmm.
He tell me to come here, and I find you, and it is here. He tell me you are the successor. You are the tower. We follow you now.
Did he tell you where you're supposed to go?
Here. Follow now. Aid. Protect. That is all. My purpose is singular.
All right, that's all clear. Perhaps it's best if you get some rest now.
Yeah, I'll get you some food. We've got some here.
I will sleep on the horse.
No, you can sleep
Please
here.
sleep in the cart.
There's no room for
Yeah.
this. I sit here with
There's-
this child.
There's
I
plenty
do
of
not want to
look,
hurt
I-
her.
just
I can
move that
ride the
sack
horse
and
if-
here,
Yeah.
move the sack up here next to
Right,
me.
use this.
There's
Yeah,
plenty
and then
of
use
room
this
for you
one
to
as a
sleep.
pillow.
Don't be silly.
Yeah,
Perhaps we...
tuck yourself in there.
Well, I have to return horse.
It's
We're
right.
bringing
We're
it.
we're bringing
Ah.
it with us. Don't worry. See, I have the reins right here. It's gonna come right along with us.
Yeah, you just
We'll
need to
return the
rest.
horse.
Yeah, and so you're strong enough to protect Suuna, right?
I sit here. She sits down, puts her arms across her chest, and sits in an awkward position, but reluctantly
Oh, yes.
gives in a
Stubborn
little.
child. She'll be asleep in 2 minutes as soon as
Okay.
the cart's moving. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just kind of look at it, Bo, like, oh,
Anything
It's
attack
fine.
cards, you tell me. I kill.
you got it. I'll tell you right away.
I have lost almost no fight.
Hopefully it stays that way, and I just move us forward.
I am strongest in village. That's good. That's asleep immediately.
In we go. Good.
Is the order still the same? Suuna and Viraz in the front?
Yeah, I don't think I can
think
sleep
so.
after that.
Cairo kind of a little more squished, Ippo a little more squished. Tia kind of like, Tia and Viraz exchange a couple of words, and then Viraz looks up at you, Suuna, Walsh, and then looks forward.
I'm just at the reins, and I'm thinking about everything that she just said, that, I'll fix it as long as they keep me safe, and I just really want that to be true.
And that is where we're going to go to a break. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're going to go to a short break here. Let everybody take a pee break. Go find the pisser with Eli. And when we return, we shall see whatever is going on in this tavern with the Inquisitors finally meeting up in this absurd establishment. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in a few minutes. Returning to the Wild Hand Tavern in Bellona. The door opens. Aura, Reginald. Not long at all after Ellie walks out, the door opens, and standing there is a Fearbolg. Kind of like a very large, slightly hairy gnome. Not the largest of his kind you've ever seen. They're kind of giant kin. But he's kind of menacing looking, although he's in relatively fine clothes. He looks like he belongs here, but immediately you get the sense that this is a person that's seen some shit. Standing next to him or following in behind him, you see Beau in just an absurdly large coat. A big winter coat, fur-lined. It looks like the type of thing you might see Beau in, but it's not a coat that you've ever seen him in before. And behind him, you see Callugi in a very similar-looking coat, and he looks the same as he always does. The three of them stand at the doorway, a few seconds scanning the room before fixing on you. Reginald, kind of under his breath, says to you, Aura, okay, well, that's one good thing. At least it's actually Reginald. It's actually Werston. And then, at the same time as that, striding across the room is the tavern owner, moving towards these three strangers. He says, hello there. Oh, more strangers from the road, perhaps. How can I get your tables? Oh, maybe you're joining the Streletto Company. Are you from Streletto? Werston says,
Yes, we're from Streletto. That's where we're from. We'll be joining the table over there.
the fellow who was greeting them kind of taken aback for a moment and then said, yes, of course. Well, let me show you over to the table. Can I get you anything to drink? Use there, sir. Looking at you, Beau.
Oh, wine?
Oh, that sounds like a Bellona accent. I've never seen you around these parts before.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not from here.
And what about you there, sir? He looks at Callugi. Callugi, it almost barges past you a little bit, Beau, to get to this man and says, I'll have an entire wine as well. Bottle. Bring the bottle to the table for us. All the money. What's the most expensive thing you've got here? I'll take 5. Take 5 of them. Werston kind of turns and shoots him a look. And the fellow kind of looks at you three again. There's a moment of confusion. He glances over at Reginald, who nods, and then, "Oh, very well, come on over then," heading towards the table. The four move across the room. A handful of people do look over at what's going on. A couple of people exchanging some kind of almost certainly bitchy comments before the four reach the table. Just outside of a relatively clean window in the drizzle, we probably through the window, while no one else can see it, can see Ellie doing something. What are you doing?
I would try to find a vantage point on top of a building across the way that can see into the window.
All right, roll me a dice.
Okay. 11.
11. It is not the ideal position, but across this kind of Y intersection, the largest window on this bottom floor does provide you a very clear look at the table that you want to look at. You can see, maybe as we see you climbing up a drain pipe like you do, Assassin's Creed style, jumping from windowsill to windowsill. You can see the group finally meeting. Once you get up to the top of this roof, it's not super ideal for you. You don't have the clearest of shots, but in a pinch, you think you can probably pull off like a bow shot with anyone sat at this table. Presumably Werston would be your target. It's doable. It's not the most ideal situation. You certainly can't hear anything or really make out what they might be talking about. The faces in the drizzle as it's running down the window is kind of hard to tell, what expressions they're saying or read any lips. But in terms of like making shots and firing arrows and things, you're in a decent enough position.
I got enough sight to see like if there's any sudden movements.
For sure.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Things kick off, you'll definitely know. So I think throughout this entire scene, in the background through the window, like Batman on the edge of a rooftop, you can see this figure. Werston moves over to the table and Reginald stands up, and just while the tavern owner is there, Reginald says, "Oh, my good lad, finally you made it. It's been so very long," Werston says.
"Yes, it's been a little bit too long. They practically disappeared on us at the most inopportune moment, wouldn't you say?"
Yes, you could say. Sit down, let's have a drink first before... Oh, perhaps you'd like some cheese. Werston kind of moves around you, Aura. It's in a very obviously and overtly menacing way. You see him move towards the area where your bags were dropped, and he kind of kicks your sword away from you as he moves around the table out of your reach and sits in the chair directly to your right.
You should try the meat. You seem like a man who would love that meat.
Oh, you'd know about butchering meat, wouldn't you?
What do you do, Beau?
I've heard a lot about you. And I look at Beau and I just want to run over and give him a hug, but I can't.
I blink as I almost didn't recognize Aura, and I'm just...
Beau doesn't have his glasses on either.
Yeah, I'm blushing a bit because she's looking very pretty in that dress.
It's good to see you all from Streletto.
I turn to Werston. Can I make pleasantries?
I'd suggest you do while this fellow is looking directly at us.
There's a man standing at the table looking across all of you, waiting for you all to sit down as this incredibly awkward scene plays out. Callugi kind of stumbles around the other end of the table and sits kind of at the table head at the other end. He very comfortably puts his shoes up on the table. Werston shoots him a look and he pulls his shoes off the table. "Right, so down to business then. Merchants, guilds, and the exchange of money and what? Fucking slaves and stuff?" Werston shoots him another look.
Low key.
"Yeah, well, these lot in here know exactly what I'm... So I'll just sit here quietly, perhaps. That wine, my dear sir." "Yes, of course, the wine. I'll bring over the wine. The wine for you all. Please enjoy the charcuterie and,
Will you bring some more salami for this gentleman? He seems like he would like some more salami.
Of course, anything. And we'll get to some, perhaps some main meals soon. Be back soon enough." And he turns and walks away. As soon as his back is turned, Werston leans across the table towards Reginald.
What the fuck have you been doing?
Reginald kind of leans back. Right, listen, you have to understand. It's just, actually, technically, and I'm relatively ashamed to say I was taken prisoner, technically, at first. But
It was a conversation.
I really do think that what they're saying is the truth, frankly. It seems absurd, I know, but I don't think they're working with the Dragonfly crew. I really, truly believe that they experienced is what happened. Werston leans back and says,
I've come to the same conclusion. This one's too stupid to have pulled off anything on the level. I'm sorry. But it's true. There's no way. You pulled off a wide-scale attack like that. Planned over years. There's no way.
Oh, it's not stupid. How dare you?
Thank you.
To mastermind a terrorist attack, the largest terrorist attack we've seen in 2,500 years. On our entire planet.
I think in the background you'd see a bird come up and start like fucking with Ellie, and she's like swatting it away. That's it. Just like ridiculous dumb shit in the background.
Reginald leans in. Listen, we've sort of come up with a plan to a degree. We think we should wait for their final member, the one from Dustvale. She's an old lady.
Oh, an old lady. Yeah. That's what we need, an old lady to help us out.
Yes, well, once she arrives, they have a plan, right?
Well, we're working on a plan.
We've got a plan. I think we're going to do a lot better to work together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but he needs an attitude adjustment if we're going to work
I
together.
need an attitude adjustment.
You kicked my sword.
He put collars on our.
What?
I'm wearing a.
Take that off right now.
You collared them. Okay, I think you can probably take the collars off of them.
No. Not yet.
Oh, come on. It's not.
I squeeze.
like
I
they-
put my hand on Worston's arm and I start squeezing.
If you squeeze me any harder.
What? And I squeeze a little bit harder and I just look at him.
Collars
Take
around
off
their
their
necks. We'll kill them. If you squeeze my wrist.
Can I see this happening? The squeezing of wrists
I think you maybe make
it
out something
over
like
the
that.
table?
There's no way that I would imagine Aura's going to be doing some crazy stuff, but I think she probably. I think from your vantage point, you can see them moving
I would
around
get
well enough.
super annoyed by the mist and not being able to tell what's going on in the birds, and I am gonna climb down and just like walk up to the window, but like outside, not like right in front of it.
Reginald sees you, but no one else does. He's like, he just gives you like a wide-eyed look.
But but yeah, well, I mean, no one else sees me because I'm invisible, because I'm a beggar kid now.
Yeah. Werston says,
Listen, this one butchered Bob.
"How is Bob?"
He's doing better. He's not walking yet.
Right. Well, it was a.
Bob is a psychopath. Have
He
we
is
not
a
remembered this?
psychopath.
He is a psychopath, I know. But he's all we had. And, well, you cut him up a little bit, didn't you? You cut him up like he was
I
a
did. He
cake.
also tried to blow me up, and he tried to light me on fire
Right, well,
several
he's lit
times.
all of us on fire.
Well,
Alright.
that's your friendship, not mine with him.
Don't say friendship.
Wouldn't say friendship, I'm afraid. Just
Take
just
off their collars.
Take the collars off of them. I think we're fine. Look at me. Do I look like I'm under duress?
You look like you're right at home.
Well, yes, very funny. Just do it.
Alright. I'll take the collars off. Alright.
Thank you. I'm tired of being your bitch.
He pulls his hands out of his pocket and says,
There's no knives in them anyway. They don't do nothing.
he reaches
I
up.
beg your.
There's a button underneath the front of it that he clicks that you could have clicked at any point.
Yeah, I'll just reach up. There's a button under there.
There's a
I'm-
bloody Callugi
I'm
reach, and it comes
Starting
off.
to feel like the Inquisition's a giant joke.
It ain't a joke. Well, listen. We ain't in the business of killing.
We're really not in the business of killing, but yeah, it's just that fear is rather effective at getting our work done quickly.
They really get into your head, though, that's for sure.
Well, we really didn't have much choice. We thought you were terrorists. Truly believed that you were in charge of orchestrating this entire thing, and we've been over this. I presume you've told them your side of the story, Beau?
Not the, exaggeration of busty mermaids, but, I told the rest.
Told us everything. Flying up into the sky, visiting all these places of power, fighting the gods, killing something called Deivaki. Then the magic. Gone. So what's the plan then? Got a brains, ain't ya?
Looks at you, Aura.
We're gonna work together, and we're gonna find Deivaki, and we're gonna fix this.
Right, so if we find this, god of gods, the plan is to what? Kill him? Bring him on to our side? Have him,
Well, like I did with Bob, try to have a conversation first before we kill anybody. See where we end up. Deivaki wasn't much for talking the first time we talked to him.
You reckon you can get him to jumpstart the magic again?
I have a hunch that maybe he could, but I don't know for sure.
I mean, if it's something you can take away, I'm sure you can give back, right? After
I would think so.
a god.
I have no idea how it works. Honestly, this entire thing has gone over my head. Frankly, I'm surprised at how little we understood.
Reginald nods at him. It's
I'd
a
like to
little
use an
strange.
ability.
Yeah.
Insight.
And what does that do for you?
I'd like to gain insight on what's this guy's name again? I want to say
Werston?
Wheatbix, but I know that's wrong.
Weetabix?
Werston.
Yeah.
I want to gain insight on him. I want to basically see what he's trying to accomplish, I guess.
It's very
It is.
hard to hear what they're saying.
Oh, I even though I'm standing right outside the window.
Yeah, I think it's kind of muffled.
Oh.
Also, Werston speaks
Like this, impossible to hear through a window.
I think you're...
Well, I'm gonna move inside.
Yeah, I think maybe you've started moving around, and
Yeah, it's 'cause it's
Werston
really hard
kind of
to
looks
hear.
around and says,
What about the assassin? She really up to buggered off, eh? Left you here, high and dry.
Yeah,
Then-
where is Ellie?
and the door opens and a serving boy walks in. Worston glances over and then glances back as if it's just a serving boy.
But there's like bird poop on my hat now, and I'm a little like soaked because I've
Yeah.
been outside.
A little serving child wanders in, Beau.
And I stand like I kind of stand near the table, like behind Werston-ish, but like stand like a servant would at a table.
He completely sees you, right? Because he's not one of these
Yeah.
people that he's like watching
Oh, I
you
know.
and then
We don't need nothing, boy.
Well, I ain't standing here for you, mister. I'm standing here for them.
Yeah, right. Clear off. Tell them
I
to clear
scoot
off.
over like a couple inches away from the table.
Reginald is kind of smiling.
Boy, will you get my sword for me? Seems that it's fallen over.
And I go and I grab the sword and I pretend like I'm struggling, like lifting it up, like, ugh. Why is it so heavy though? Why do I have to carry it?
Because you're the boy. And I take the sword from her and
Good point.
lean it against the wall next to me or by the window next to me.
I'll put my hand on it like I'm trying to balance, like keep it there.
Perhaps you should dismiss the child who probably doesn't need to know about very important discussions.
This is my child, and this
You-
child shall stay.
Aura, you have a child?
You're a
I'll
child.
explain everything later.
I am her child.
You don't look nothing like a tiefling.
It's called adoption.
So many assumptions from you,
Okay.
Werston.
Callugi is leaning against the table. Would you mind seeing where our drinks are, boy?
Of course. And I'll run off.
Callugi, you
And
can't
like
just
I'll
talk to
like
me.
run off, but
That's
then
what
I
it's for.
trip. I
Yeah,
purposely like trip and fall like in front of all of them.
like Superman does when he's Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, this boy stumbles off away from the table. Werston leans forward.
All right. If we're all working together, and you are telling us the truth, then we're all pretty fucked, I'd say. If this, Leoveki's real, you reckon he's holding all the magic himself, or is he cut off as well? What makes you think he's even here? Why wouldn't he be sat on his throne?
I know he's here. I can feel him.
Yeah, how?
I can't explain it. It's just like I know.
Yeah, like magic.
This might sound really hard to it. I mean, this might sound crazy, but Aura was chosen
For what?
to take Deveki's place.
Right. So you're now the god of gods. You're the big bad that's in charge, and you're sat in here
She
in a
has
ridiculous dress.
I
But you're supposed to be what?
turned it down. I turned down the position.
Why the fuck would you turn down a position like that?
Why would you accept one?
I don't know, to knock the bastard off that's in charge.
I get like my eyes get wide and I just look at Reginald. Like this guy.
I mean, it was really a question of power, Werston.
Yeah, but if the geezer in power's a bit... You know,
How do you get a job at the Inquisition? Do they have like a background check? Do they look into your history, anything like that?
it's actually really messed up. A lot of us were just kids with nowhere else to go.
I mean this with all due respect. Were you in prison at some point, Werston?
I've been in prison many times.
Okay. All I'm saying is I know that he is out there, and if we find him, I think he might be mortal like us. Maybe he put the magic somewhere. It's safe somewhere, and maybe all we have to do is unlock it again.
Yes, this is really the only plan we have, Werston. We have to find Deiveki, if nothing else. It will provide us with some answers.
All right, fine. So now
As
we've
I
joined in.
return,
You've
I put
coming back
two
and
bottles.
there's like 2 other children following you with bottles as well.
and
Yeah.
it's all whatever Callugi drank the most of in the guild. It's like just all that, whatever
he
liquor
drinks
that was.
anything. Yeah,
Well, it's all whiskey then.
Whiskey
it's
comes
just all
out,
whiskey.
2 bottles of wine, the
Yeah.
other child with a bunch of glasses set onto the table. The 2 other children turn around and immediately walk away, and then one of them elbows you.
I push him.
Stand up. Oh, all right.
They move away. You hear them going, she's going to get lashes. Or he's going to get lashes.
I
and they
immediately
walk
start
away.
to like put ice in the cups and then like start pouring for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, then. If that's the plan, where is he?
We don't know.
You said you could find him, right? Track him.
It's like I think if I get closer, I will know that we're getting closer. But we just have to work together with your resources and our resources, and I think we can find him.
Ain't you said you're gonna find that person, that Graham guy?
What the
I
fuck?
look at.
He stands up.
I tell everything to my child.
Yeah,
He
I
knows-
serve her.
This child knows more
Child
than me.
serves you?
I look at Reginald.
Sit down.
Where's
Sit down.
the-
It's fine.
He told us that he was going to get us a meeting with him.
We figured that we really only have two leads. We have to find Grim. It seems that, well, he's involved somehow, presumably. If not, then he's just crazy, and that's it. Alternatively, we find Deivaki. Nora's pretty confident that if we can get at least a direction to head, we can find him, and that's presumably the rest of the answers we need. The plan is simply to wait for their final comrade. The last piece of the puzzle before we can piece it together.
Right. So you want to go up to the fortress and speak to the mad paladin?
I don't want to. Said Paladin had tried to cut my head off, but apparently he might have something to say.
Your face is wanted. His face is wanted. If she actually does make it here, Suuna's face is going to be wanted as well. So
Aren't you in control of taking that down, since you work for the Inquisition?
It's a bit wobbly.
Why is that wobbly?
Well, they've
How
locked
is that-
down the fortress because someone went mental and tried to kill the Queen. We're not really in charge of the local monarchies. We just work with them. It's hard. We have to not rock the boat. There's still a standard Inquisition that holds some sway and power, but without magic, there's no Arcani, and without Arcani, there's not really an Arcani Inquisition. So it's a bit hard to leverage them.
We can disguise ourselves. You all can say we're new members of the Inquisition. We're new recruits. We can trick them. If we go in with you two, and they're like, yeah, you said the staff is low. You have us go in. We all dress differently.
Yeah, alternatively, we all dress the same. We could dress them in robes, Inquisition robes. We've got endless amounts of them.
I'm really good at accents.
And I can still be your boy, milady.
I can dress up like a girl.
I can carry books.
You don't need it. We could just, just put a robe on and maybe.
I mean, I've done my Reginald knows my delivery accent. I've been doing one here. I feel like I could easily come up with a third one.
We could just do all the talking on your behalf.
We could shave him.
He points at you, Beau.
Shave him up.
No. Hey, women can have beards too, all right?
More like, you'll look completely different. No one will even recognize you.
If someone asks me a question, I gotta have
Well, yes, I suppose. Well, they really only are going to know your face from a wanted poster and not your voice. You can sound however you wish.
So you say that I could have an accent if I wanted one?
Well, I suppose, yes. You could
Okay.
if you really wanted to.
Now can I use insight?
Yeah, so you've been watching this conversation. And what does it specifically provide you, sorry? Is there any specifics in there that you get?
You see the intentions of a nearby creature discovering prominent motive. Choose one effect each time you use this ability. You learn something the creature intends to do in the next 10 minutes, or you learn something the creature intends to accomplish over a long period of time.
Which one?
So this is something I think I'd be going like, what does it seem like Werston's trying to do long term?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem to want to attack us. He would have probably done that.
You get the same feeling that you got when you first encountered Reginald. Kind of at the end of his tether, really back against the wall, sort of partially down and out. There's an element to Werston of just, what do I have left to lose? But to just go with this. These are detectives. These are agents with one or two very thin leads to follow. They have no choice but to go with the flow here. He doesn't seem at all to be comfortable, but it's not in the sense that he's going to pull anything. It really does just seem like he's telling the truth. It seems like both him and Reginald, they're the last of their team. There is no one left. They're unaware of Cairo. And that they really do need to figure out what this is about. It's their final mission. And he does seem to be kind of coming around to it. It
Does
seems
it seem like it seems like he's like believing this and not one of those. We're gonna walk into a trap soon.
if I think you get the sense that he felt more like he was walking into a trap here than later. You get the sense that both him and Reginald came to the same conclusion that this could be another outside force arranging for the meeting, but it was in fact just how they had hoped that it would be each other. It seems that Reginald trusts you and Aura now. You've both discussed with him plenty, more Aura than you, but over the course of your time together, that he seems to just be on your side and believing of it. Whether it is the truth and fact, I think you get the sense that Reginald still isn't sure whether you were mind wiped or taken and messed with in some way. He certainly doesn't get this. You don't get the sense that they feel like you're purposefully misleading them. You don't get the sense, and I think all of you can maybe begin to feel like this as well. Like they have kind of dropped the idea that you were actively a part of this Dragonfly crew and the vengeance and the things like that. They still maybe don't believe your story is your story, but they believe that you believe that's the story, and regardless, that's the only lead they have still. So essentially, it does seem like they're kind of, you both have a common enemy and a common goal, and it does seem like they're on side, whether it be slightly tentatively. There's certainly a kind of tension to it, but not anything that you get the sense is like a big trick or a trap or anything. You also get the sense that Werston just kind of believes Beau's story in the same way that that Reginald believes Aura's. It's just that where Reginald had Beau locked up, there was no reason to let him go. Whereas Aura had Reginald, with a sword to his throat. So it was just kind of the same thing. Yeah, I think he seems, if anything, a little more relaxed the longer the conversation goes on, but not relaxed, just with the situation.
I'll change that. I'm gonna shove my way in between
kill him.
Werston and Beau. And sit down.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Beau.
What?
It's me. How did you not know it was me? You know what I look like.
But your disguise.
Yeah, and I smell a little more now.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, fooled him, didn't it? And I signal Werston.
I mean, I didn't even know it was you two until you surprised me.
That was the point. So, about this plan.
Werston is watching this exchange. And then he looks over at Reginald. Reginald kind of smiles and shrugs. And then he looks back and says,
The assassin.
Yeah?
Well,
We had to work with disguises.
yeah. Is this how you get most of your marks, is it?
Not as a little boy, no. Most of them I just, wait in a shadow for them to walk by and then walk away.
He tells me you killed the god of death.
We did it, actually. All of us.
What was that like?
I've gotta be honest, at the time I didn't really feel anything. I mean, being lifeless and all, at least then.
Oh yeah, the curse.
Yeah. For stealing. And I look at Beau. You're the thief here. You should have known those were cursed.
Well then, it seems everything's above board. I reckon we get the fuck out of this shithole.
We gotta go meet our friend.
well, yes, but she won't be arriving till morning.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Perhaps we could go back to the safe house.
Is it safe?
Actually, Werston, could we go to a better safe house? They smashed my window.
Where have you been staying?
I have my own safe house, of course. Just in
You
case.
come to our dungeon.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
No,
Not
we don't.
going
You've
to a
had him in the
dungeon.
dungeon. Which one?
10.
10? Did he get out?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Oh, that's... And he looks at Callugi and Beau. Well, I suppose you're probably very tired after your extremely long journey. There's got to be another one that we can go to.
Yeah, there's the comfortable one. We can go to the comfortable one. Not like anyone else is using it.
Where's Bob?
He's at the comfortable one.
Well, maybe we
I
don't
know one we can stay at.
go
Let's
to
just,
the
this is
comfortable
fine.
one.
No,
Well,
no,
who's going to
no.
look after Bob?
I suppose we do have to look after Bob.
Oh, I'm not going.
Does Bob like recognize faces very easily?
If we tell him not to kill you, he probably won't.
Okay, well, I don't really like going on probablys. Like,
Yes,
if
well,
we,
I mean, we've been working with Bob for a very long time, and we're all on probablys.
Yeah, but does the Inquisition know where Bob's at?
Oh, yes, he's quite safe. He's in a comfortable, safe house, being looked after.
I'm saying if they know where he's at, then they'll know that we're there if he decides to
Well,
talk
yes,
to anyone.
we
he can't
are.
talk.
We are the
He's actually
Inquisition.
mute.
Oh, he's a mute, huh?
Yeah, I
Yes,
tried-
Well, he is
yeah.
now, yes. No, she didn't cut out his tongue. His tongue was cut out.
I know. I think you see like a
ago.
moment of like, really?
Oh, yeah, no. He was already mute when I met him.
Yes, he had a little trinket that he could.
Oh, I thought you went
speak
on
through
a
his
tongue-cutting
arcanine.
spree for a second.
Yeah, well,
No, I
well.
tried to have a conversation with him, and then he just kept lighting Molotov cocktails. It was a whole thing.
That's what he does.
Does he have access to Molotov cocktails at this safe house?
He's barely got access to his hands. They're all bandaged up.
Okay.
All right, where is this safe house?
Yeah, follow me.
You see the fellow come out with the stuff, and he walks towards the table. So, what would you like to eat, everyone? Werston stands up and just says, "Fuck off!" And the guy, and Reginald, yes. Werston is walking towards the door. Reginald stands up awkwardly. Well, of course, my tab. You put it all on the tab. Take a little for yourself. And yes, we'll be leaving now. Unfortunately, we do have business to attend to. Leaving so soon. Yes. Well,
Just a little snack before dinner. Thank you.
Streletto. Of course. Yes. We'll have a wonderful evening, one and all.
And to you as well.
The fellow kind of watches you all as I guess each of you stand up and head towards the door.
Yeah.
I kind of
I'll
make
go
a
grab.
way. And
I'll go grab
over.
like this stuff.
You
and
still
waddle
grab all
out.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all head out of this kind of upper class establishment one by one. You see Reginald leaves last and turns and says, Father will cover it, of course. Good night. Good night. A few people kind of looking strange, disgruntled looks as you each step out and follow Werston off into the night. Back in the cart on the Great Road. You are each on this cart. Several more hours have passed. The sun is beginning to rise. You see the dawn light kind of peeking over the edge of the plains. In the distance, you see a kind of, it would look small to you, but a city begin to materialize. Bellona is on a dip in the land, but the fortress sits on a plateau that you can kind of make out from a distance. It's kind of a two-tiered looking thing, not huge or anything like that, but you can make out walls and some general scattered kind of laid out houses in the very far distance, a circular-ish shape from this distance, with a fortress sitting, a castle from this distance and in the center of it. Quite far away still, and you've been following a river now. The road runs now alongside of a pretty wide river. As the sun comes up, the drizzle of the rain continues, hitting the river. The light glancing off the river as well. Who is where and doing what on the cart at the moment?
I'm still in the back. I'm not sleeping anymore, though. I kind of have my hood pulled back a little bit, and I'm just maybe watching the river go by or the road, whichever side I'm on.
I think at some point the twins will have swapped, depending on maybe who's in the front. It's up to you guys. But Veraz would have gone back to the back of the cart, also awake, but in the back of the cart. Maybe he snoozed for a little bit, with Tia sitting up front with whoever's driving.
I think I'm driving, probably still. Something's been bothering me. I can't stop thinking about what just happened. Everybody being able to see everything and not me, but I keep fixating on what Ippo said to me.
You ever been to the Valley of the Vedran King?
Yes, that's it. He said that to me a long time ago. I heard that when Future Aura came. I heard him say that to me. And I think it troubles me, actually.
How's it going up front there? You awake?
Oh yes, I'm good.
You'll holler if you need, a swap out or.
Oh yes, I'll holler. I'm okay though.
Okay.
Tell me again, Cairo, what you saw.
You mean the city?
Yes.
Bellona? Okay. It was destroyed. And I was running in the street. And I was running from giant hands, black hands. They covered everything. And they were chasing me. And there was ruin everywhere.
And what about the gun?
Oh, right. Well, it was pointed at me.
But it was your comrade, right?
It was.
Well, Cairo, I think that means that you're going to stick with us. Right? That's what that means?
I'd like to.
Would you mind taking the reins for me for just 10 minutes or so?
Not at all. Not at all.
Great.
I'll go ahead and climb over and grab him.
I'd like to do something. Let me see what it's called. I think I probably, he's still sitting there, right? I want to sit next to her, so I'll probably kind of just gesture that he can go rest in the back, and I'll sit here next to Cairo. May I do my invoke?
Invoke. What is that one?
You leave your worldly body behind. You must be in a quiet place with no other creatures around to begin the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Or does it count? Am I not able to since they're around me?
I think you can do it. Everyone's asleep, really.
All right.
Zyra
Not
is
a lot of
in
noise.
a deep sleep as well. You can see now that she has kind of curled up a little more. She's gone from a sitting position to like a curled up position.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, you find a little area and everyone's quiet and it's quiet enough and nothing really happening. I think you can do this.
While in this trance, you can only vaguely sense if there is danger around your mortal body. But you may exit the trance at any time. You enter a liminal plane of existence and experience this place like a dream world in the stars. It might be a lush paradise in a nebula. Well, I won't read the rest of that and trouble you with it, but here you may speak with a mysterious version of yourself. They may appear to look exactly as you do, as you once did or will do, or perhaps they are you, yet distinctly different. You may describe what you see each time. You may speak to the avatar for 1 minute about anything you like. If you ask any of these questions, the GM will give you a truthful answer.
So you sit there.
Yes.
It takes a little while to have the bumping of the carriage and the drizzle of the rain that will keep you grounded from doing something like this. Before this kind of trance-like meditation takes you, and eventually it drifts away. You're still aware, still in your body. You're still, kind of sitting in this cart, the wood. You can sense the rumble of the cart and the bumping along this road. You can hear the clippity-clop of the horse. But for the most part, you kind of drift off. And as you maybe close your eyes, when you open, not your eyes again, but an eye, you find yourself in a kind of field of stars. No constellations that you recognize, no understanding of where precisely you might be, but there's just kind of a peace and transience to the place that you find yourself in. And what do you say?
I definitely don't see myself, at least in a physical form. So I think I look around for a minute. Am I on the right path to fixing things, to bringing magic back?
Ahead of you, the stars begin to shift and change into strange shapes. You can see that they begin to form like a very odd shape. Humanoid at first, and then it sprouts a set of arms, and it becomes clearer as more and more stars begin to kind of form this figure. It takes more and more depth in a strange sort of pointillist way. It's odd, but the stars take the form of Ahi, the strange figure that you had met right at the beginning that pulled you to this thing. Ahi's face, however, it isn't made of stars. It is just your face up there.
It's very troubling.
The face looks at you and says,
"What is broken for you to fix?"
Well, there's no magic. We've robbed everyone of magic.
Perhaps it is not always about trying to fix something that is broken. Maybe you must start over and create something better.
What if I don't know what that looks like?
Who could know?
I don't know. Am I you?
Yes.
Is that what I'm going to become?
No. I am you.
I don't think I like that implication, to be honest.
the stars shift and change. And you see that the arms are pulled in again, all of them. The hands remain, they grow a little in size. The body shifting and changing outwards. The face at the top splits. There are now like 6 faces that are all yours looking at you. It takes the form of Deaveki.
Would you prefer this?
No. Am I going to find you? Well, I guess you're me, so you can't really answer that. I feel great responsibility, and I just want to make sure I'm not endangering those I love again.
Would you like to find me?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Have you found yourself?
I think I have.
Then you will find me.
Oh dear. And I think I leave this space, but I am laughing when I wake up.
You kind of take a little while, I think, as you begin to sort of ground yourself. It takes a moment. It's not really the type of thing that you can just snap out of. It's a deep meditation. It's a trance. Very strange feeling as the more present sounds return. Then the feelings, the sensation of the rocking of the carriage, and you open your eyes, and in front of you, you see the left-hand pauldron of Zyria in front of you, and it has the all-seeing eye on it, the same symbol that was on her shield, the symbol of Savras. Sometimes this is in the form of a crystal ball with many eyes in it. Sometimes it's a single large eye. Sometimes it's an eye in a triangle, very Illuminati style. But she just has a pretty simply engraved all-seeing eye in the pauldron that's looking at you as you awaken from this meditation.
Funny.
Ironic, more like. We thought we were doing the right thing, you know, killing something horrific, stopping a monster. And I kept saying, no, you know, who are we to just rule over and become gods, and we're no different from the thing we're trying to stop then, are we? And we
At
are.
least you questioned it. I didn't even do that. Until it was a bit too late.
Well, I'm afraid this doesn't bode well for us, for me.
What doesn't?
I think we're looking for ourselves. I think when we find each other again, we'll either become Deaveki or summon Deaveki. I think he's within us. Us four. Or we are him, or something to that nature.
That's a lot to chew on.
Yes, well, let's hope I'm wrong. Right?
Yeah.
I just pat her leg.
I suppose.
Let's hope I'm wrong.
Well, I'll be here.
Yes, I know. And don't worry about that man with the rifle. Hippo's a good shot, too.
The cart trundles onwards down the road. An hour or so passes, and eventually ahead of you, spreading out across your vision, this wall appears. The western side of Bellona is a little different to the eastern and southern sides. The northern side mostly just kind of a plateau that leads up to the fortress. And the western side has a lot of the river. It runs into canals all the way through Bellona, and there's a bridge that goes over this river and heads towards the western gate. Ahead of you, you can see a very large gate inside of a very large wall, and beyond it, the very recognizable city of Bellona appears. You found Bellona. You finally made it to Bellona's western gate, and that is where we end today's session.
Oh, good.
Good morning, sunshine.
Thanks for playing, players.
Thanks for DMing.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. We're
All coming
almost
together.
there.
Next week, we will begin with you all finally being reunited. After all this time.
There's that one.
Which is exciting, but also terrifying.
Activating the true end game.
Yeah. That's when I reveal myself as the BBEG.
Oh yeah.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Beau's gonna take off the sunglasses and his eyes are yellow.
Oh, God.
We'll do a quick round of shout-outs. Everyone can say where they're from, what they're doing during the week, and where people can find you doing those things. And then we'll head on out till next time for the great reunion, which is a terrifying thing to say if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, and I shouldn't call it that. But let's start with a Final Fantasy VII fan, Zakoticus. Where can people find you, and what do you do there?
Hi everyone, I'm Sgaricus. You can find me here in Table Story on Tuesdays as well as Sundays. I play a very young man there, Alexander Pepin. He's a Ravenclaw student at Hogwarts. And he's such a wonderful character too. So I hope you'll check that out. There's plenty of witchcraft and wizardry to catch up on as well if you want to check out the YouTube and get a feel for it. Wonderful cast of people, wholesome, funny. It's awesome. I love it. You can follow me. I'm Sgaricus everywhere. I play video games. I make terrible jokes that are solely for my own entertainment, but you might enjoy them too. And you can find my podcast, The Zgodcast, and all the podcast places. That's just me talking to cool people about things, and it's a good time. It's basically just an excuse for me to force people to talk to me for a couple hours so I'm not lonely, and then I record it and you can all listen to it too.
That's why I do this and refuse to end it.
Yeah.
See,
So yeah,
I
check it
have
out.
friends.
Thanks.
What about you, Pocket? How was it being a boy?
Well, I mean, it's just I sounded like a little boy, but to be fair, when I was a little girl and even a teenager, I sounded like a little boy too, so it was normal, I guess. I was also a tomboy. You can find me in Texas. You asked where can they find you?
Yeah, you want to give your address and your social security number out?
You can find me at Pocket on Twitter, and when I occasionally stream at Pocket on Twitch, mostly sticking to photo stuff lately and editing videos. But I do want to get back to streaming. I had a pinched nerve all last week, so I was in very fun pain. Still kind of bad, but whatever. So that's my.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get better. What about you, Desby?
Oh, hi, I'm DisBRX. I played Bobo for you today. Amazing episode today, everybody. Holy cow, Brad. I don't know how you keep up with all these characters. What?
Insane.
It's insane. Anyway, you can find me here at DisBRX on Twitch and Twitter. I've been playing a variety of games. I last checked out the new map on Phasmophobia, the prison map. That's been pretty cool.
There's a new map.
Yeah, there's a new map. Should totally
It's a
check it out.
Prison.
What?
Yeah, it's a
I didn't
prison.
even know. How long has there been a new map for?
Just
like a couple of days,
Yesterday,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks
All
for the
right.
fun
There
today,
you go.
guys.
Go to prison.
Go to
Go
prison.
to prison with DisBRX. What about Tuesday? Tuesday's been in prison for most of her life.
Yeah, we weren't gonna bring that up though.
All
I
right.
don't know if you just
Too late.
forgot about
Back on that. Take that out. He's streaming
Anyway,
live from Saint Anger right now.
I'm Tuesday Gray. I'm not in prison. You can find me at Tuesday Gray on Twitch and Twitter. For now, just here on Sundays, but streaming someday. And I would like to shout out my favorite moment from today, which was Tilly deciding that her name was Tilly and then proceeding to act as Tilly because it was amazing.
I know.
It was amazing.
I want a spin-off, which is just
Yeah.
Aura going around the country pretending to be a noble.
Be a noble. Yeah.
Anytime. I
Which-
will do it.
All right.
It's amazing. But thank you.
I refuse to be the boy the whole time. Let me
Just
be
killing you.
like the husband sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave you some of the meat and cheese.
That's
I know. And you
should be
didn't slap
happy.
me like
Be
one of the
happy with
kids.
what you're
You
given.
weren't the whipping boy. That
You got the
was-
table
Yeah.
scraps and no abuse. Be grateful.
Yeah.
The fun subversion that I've been I don't know if you noticed, but I've been subverting loads of stuff. I've been trying to do one subversion an episode every time. Like last week was that you were panicked about walking through the gates and it was going to be a whole thing, and then you just walked through and it was fine. So this one I was like, I thought it'd be really funny if it was like built up to be this thing where you kind of have to be in disguise and you got to play the part right, but you go into this place where all these bastards don't give a shit anyway. You're just being an
like,
eccentric,
whatever.
crazy person like they are, kind of, and you fit in more being kind of wrong in your perfect.
Care
yeah.
less.
Thank you for letting me fool Werston though. That was
That was funny as well. Like you're just standing there.
good.
Yeah.
And Beau. Like I considered having them both roll, but then I was like, it would just be funny if like you just however long you want to do it for, you're just doing this thing.
Yeah.
Which was fun. All right, so go follow Tuesday. Who's next? Katie Peters Plaus.
Hello, I'm Katie Peters Plaus. You can find me at Katie Peters Plays on Twitch, Play Katie Play on Twitter. Someday maybe they'll be the same, but for now and for many years they have not been. I
have the same.
I play. Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah, he's buff Water.
Buff
Oh, you
Woto.
are.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's buff.
Because I'm
Obviously.
I know, like super ripped,
fucking
right?
shredded,
ripped.
mate. No, it's because when I made a Twitter account in like 2012, I had already been online for like a year, but I didn't want Twitter because I knew instinctively, and I was right, that I would hate it. But I eventually I was like, I gotta get one, and I went to get one, and someone already had it and was pretending to be me and was like typing stuff like, I'm so great and I think I'm so perfect, and tweeting it out, and it had like a bunch of follows and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is awful. And so Brad Woto was a fake account, and so I couldn't get one, and my friend Liam, who I had a channel with on YouTube at the time, was called Luff Woto, so I thought, I'll just put a B Buff Woto, because it matched, because then we would match the thing. So that's it. That's how that worked out. Yeah.
Mine was not that. I just can't fit my name into it. So that's what happened with me. No one was pretending to be me.
Make one
or
up. Make
saying-
up a story
No one is trying to be me.
the next time.
Like Katie Plays, my username, which because on PlayStation I tried putting Katie Peters Plays, but Peters is also a synonym for penis, and so PlayStation would not let
It
me
is?
use it because it was a
Yeah.
lewd.
Is?
Yeah.
Whoa. What is that, an
You've never
American
heard
thing?
of that?
No.
So okay, my husband's a teacher, and sometimes the kids will call him Mr. Peckers because
Sorry.
kids are
that's not
mean.
funny.
No, I mean it is kind of funny. We laugh about it, but
And sometimes
It's-
Katie
laugh
calls
like a
him Mr.
5-year-old.
Pecker.
I don't know where
Sorry.
no, I don't know where I was gonna get got derailed. But yeah, come hang out with me. I scream on my channel about stuff a lot. So.
That is crazy. I
Place.
can't believe that. How do we, that must be an American thing, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Definitely
Yeah.
is.
I've never heard
It's
someone
really
say,
weird.
oh,
Usually Americanisms are kind of like, we get them anyway because of
maybe it's like an
proliferation
older
of
one.
American.
and it's
I think it
kind of
is
like-
older.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What about
he's
you
got
then?
his Peter
PB?
out.
He's got his Peter out. My
That's
God.
exactly how
The
you'd
thing.
say
That's
it.
the
Really?
Oh
thing.
my.
That's how
Yeah.
you'd say it.
Well,
gonna
would you
Google
look
this.
at that?
This is new to me. I didn't know this either.
He's got a
Peter's-
micro Peter.
Penis
Oh,
origin.
wow.
It's
This is
pronounced
bad.
micropeter.
Macropeter.
Oh, Peter, I see what you did there, Zagaticus. I see what you did there. Speaking of seeing what you did there, holy shit, am I allowed to talk about this? Can I say this? How
What?
fucking cool this is?
What?
I has no idea what you're talking about. He has no
He
idea.
actually said a line to me that was said to me a year ago. on the show that Brad said that Toby said, and then you said it just now, and I'm freaking out about it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I'm very happy.
So good.
That you
That's it.
did that.
That's all I fucking got.
And that's why you get the best role players here on Table Story. Roll up, get your best role player here on Table Story.
You really do.
Very fun. Yes. I've been sitting on the Valley of the Badger and King for a while. And there it
I've
is.
been waiting for the Valley of the Badger and King for a
I know. All right. There we are. That's everyone. Make sure you go and follow them.
Except for you, Bradley. Can you please shout yourself out this time?
My name is Brad, and I have a Twitch channel as well. I've been playing KOTOR 2 because that won the vote that I did last, which was amazing for me because I'm really on a Star Wars kick at the moment, and I'm a tier 2 Star Wars fan. We came up with a tier list for Star Wars fans. There's like a tier 1 fan where you kind of just watch the movies. There's tier 2 when you've watched like Clone Wars and Rebels, but you haven't read loads of the books. And then there's tier 3 when you've like read all the Legends books and everything like that. I'm not
But
quite
that
far.
would no. See, that would be your god tier. You need tier 1 to be. They've
Yeah.
read some of the books.
Yeah, because I'm in that category.
Yeah,
Well, if you've
I'm
read
in
some of the
books,
books,
but
you're like tier
I
2
wouldn't
though,
say I'm-
right? Tier 2
No,
is like,
that's
I've
more
read
than
some
someone
of
who just
them.
plays a couple games and watches Clone Wars.
Maybe.
I've watched the movies
want more
and played a
tiers.
Lego
Star Wars
game.
want
fan
more
thing to
tiers.
do.
But like, okay, here's how I've
tier
always
am I?
found when I interact with someone, I'm like, have you seen Star Wars? And they've either watched like the movies and they're like, yeah, I liked that one movie. Or they go, I've read everything and my knowledge is more than yours. And you're like, I'm so intimidated. And they school you on it.
I can
I'm always in
name
the middle
so many
somewhere.
different races in the Star Wars universe that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, so you're
And they
god
did-
tier.
Yeah, you're just
You're
got
okay.
to. You're the one that I was just saying.
God tier.
But yeah, I'm in on a Star Wars kick. So a couple of weeks ago, the vote that I do on my channel, KOTOR won, and then I never would have expected that my channel would have enjoyed it as much as they did, but they voted for the second KOTOR, which is what I just started playing. So I haven't even got a lightsaber yet. If you want to watch that, I stream every day, much to PB's chagrin. She has been,
I keep trying to tell him that it's okay if he takes a day off.
and
And he screams at me for an hour.
I'll never
so.
do it.
And you're really good at role playing with yourself.
It
So good.
is
That makes me laugh
so
much.
tiring. Like, half the reason I don't do the shout out is because I'm like, I need to lay down now.
I'm done.
And then after that, I'm playing Bully. I've never played that before. That's what I'm doing
Yay,
on
that's
my
fun.
stream. Yeah. And that's on my Twitch
It's gonna
channel.
be a trip,
Um,
which is not Buff Wodo. That's his Twitter.
yeah, it's not Buffalo.
It's Brad Wodo.
Yes,
Twitch.tv/Brad Wodo.
that's correct. Make sure you follow this channel though, and go to the Discord and talk with all the other people and watch all the other shows. We have shows most nights. They're dropping like flies at the moment because it's just the way that it goes. But shows coming up all over the
Oh.
place. Yeah.
On the 30th
What do we
of
got?
December.
Yes.
we have,
I don't
we
have the
have-
trailer.
Oh, well, whose fault is that? Probably mine. I
Yours.
should have given it to you. Yeah, it's fine. It's on our Twitter account, but we are returning to the world of Nocturne with the cast of Nocturne for a one-shot, December 30th. It is a full moon.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun, so definitely come
Yeah.
check it out. It's either 4:30 or 5 o'clock. One of the two we haven't decided yet, but
Did
be
you say
there.
December 30th?
That's right. It's Wednesday, a full moon.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna dress like a werewolf. I was gonna say vampire, but I didn't.
Oh, that's topical. Do that.
Okay. Which one?
The werewolf.
The werewolf.
Okay.
for sure. There you go.
The Nocturne
Everyone-
Discord's about to blow up.
Yeah,
Like,
Nocturne
Yeah.
breadcrumbs.
Holy shit!
This is
I
a
dress
big
like a
plan.
werewolf for your guys' one
Yeah,
shot. Just want you to know I'm dressed like it right now watching.
All right, everyone has to dress like a werewolf on December the 30th. We'll see you then, and we'll see you next week for the continuation of this, the reunion. See you then.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching. Bye.
You're almost a Wookiee.
That was almost a Wookiee.
It
and
was
very
almost a
impressive.
Wookiee.